Okay. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Um, oh boy. Sorry, my computer froze, and it's still frozen. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We've got our guest is
Leo Stouros.
Leo Sturmis of the Albany Firewolves. Sorry, my computer just froze, and I can't make it do anything. But anyway, here we are. Leo, first, do me a favor. Tell us how you got involved in lacrosse. What was the thing that got you playing lacrosse?
Young age would have been my dad playing and kind of uncles playing and stuff like that in a small town in Kitchener-Waterloo up here in Ontario. And then you get grown into it. So my dad put me in all sports, believe it or not, gymnastics and tennis and baseball and lacrosse and hockey stuck. So.
What's stuck about lacrosse?
Oh, you know what? I think the aspect of the toughness, you just kind of, you got grown into it. So either you had it or you learned how to have it. And the greatest part of it is it was legal in the sport. So if somebody got you good, you got to get them good. So I think that was the best part of it, unlike, tennis. And the camaraderie of that. So of battle, team sports is obviously what I was drawn to. But then the hockey or the lacrosse or the football and sports like that, where you're, battling out there, it's more builds more camaraderie.
Well, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate you being here, and we all love the game of lacrosse, and we love hearing from players a bit about their history. Gary, you want to kick in?
Sure. Now, you said you're growing up in Kitchener. Was there a lot of lacrosse being played there? I know they have some great programs now.
So believe it or not, with divorce, kind of a suitcase. Grown up in Toronto, so born and raised Toronto, but both my parents were born and raised Kitchener. So my dad and my uncle Sam played lacrosse in Kitchener because actually the KW team, Kitchener-Waterloo, was pretty prevalent in the city. So if you were a hockey player, you got pushed by your buddies to play lacrosse because they had a junior B team at a time, now a junior A team, right? So yeah, it was pretty good back then, and I'm not going to date him, but 54, I am going to date him. So just happy to keep the name going.
Sure. Now you went to high school in Malvern, right?
Yeah.
And I was a northern boy myself, so
Nice.
we played each other. But was there any lacrosse in your high school? Mine there wasn't. So
yeah,
I had to go and do other things and play it in other echelons. So.
No, and you know what? We were really lucky to have like NLL guys, like Damon Edwards came to a couple of practices. Keycott. You had some of the boys that were junior A players coming and coaching their alma mater, which was Melbourne. So Melbourne was pretty good. We went to OFSA. We lost to Peterborough teams and a private school called St. Mike's. Mike Burns' favorite team, but yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was good to play for a public school before going to the Hill, where obviously that kind of carried my career. But no, it was great to have a grade 9 with local guys in a hometown.
Right.
I needed that.
Right. Now you mentioned the Hill, and we've had a lot of guys that have coached there, a lot of guys who've gone there. You went postgraduate into the Hill.
No, grade 10. Grade 10.
Really?
Grade 10 to grade 12. So it was grade 10 to grade 12, and I didn't do a postgraduate. I was 17 at Colgate in 2012.
Right.
And I was 17 turning 18 October 20th. So, a very young freshman, probably immature, I would definitely say. But obviously learned fast and was able to touch the field a little bit more in my sophomore year as a starter. But got to see the field in 8 games, and we had a good team with a Tewaaraton winner coming back and Peter Baum. So, but the Hill got me to where I am, as well as Six Nations Arrows and
Sure.
all the organizations. But, yeah.
To stick around with the Hill though, Brody, did he have a lot to do with you going and getting into Colgate? Because I know you got in there on scholarship, right?
Oh yeah, like any school, I'm now at Everest, and any school like the Hill or Everest is you go with Culver or really anywhere down at the state hill. They're the main reason and the connections they have that get you where you. It's those connections, and honestly, you got to do that. They can only do so much. You have to show yourself on the field, but I was able to get better in practice through them, and then at a tournament, they were recruiting somebody else from the other team, and I just had a good game. So that's how that worked at Colgate. So I obviously got myself to where I am, but obviously through hard work and great coaching at the Hill and Team Ontario and other places like that. I was in the long pole until grade 11.
Oh, wow. Now, going into Colgate, you certainly made the most of your 4 years, because you're saying you came on and you had a few touches here and there in year one. By year 4, you're one of 3 captains on the team, and making your mark indelibly in there.
Yeah, and I had kind of great leaders to my class above me was unbelievable at Colgate. I'm not going to name names because it was literally top to bottom unbelievable, and their leadership brought us to a Patriot League championship and an NCAA berth, losing to UNC at UNC, and that kind of led me to where I am and kind of showed me how to be a leader and how to do all those things as well. So Colgate was massive, and that me being a leader and being able to play was just following by example, following the other guys that were showing me what to do and doing that. So.
Right. Now, of course, growing up playing box and now doing field at a high level, it's 2 different mindsets, right? One's more blueprinted, which is field, and box is more of a feel, and you kind of move with the space that's given you and kind of fight for your territory. But how did you make the adjustment into field? All of a sudden, you have all this room, and then again, long pole to short pole.
You got to give it to Dylan Ward and Dobson. Okay, those are the ones you got to give it to, because that is a totally new beast. Like that's a new beast. So, but there are obviously similarities with everything. High arc to low arc. Dylan Ward does both, depending on situation, in both. So there are similarities with every sport. Defense is defense. Footwork is footwork. You're just able to be a little bit more lazy with a 6-foot pole. So it's just stuff like that, and not much. I love the mindset. You're right. Like, you are spot on. It is more blueprint. It is more, but look at the PLL. Look at the NCAA finals. It's a lot of free flowing. It's a lot of concepts within, like NBA, like stuff like that. NHL, right? It's concepts within, and you play within your concepts, and there's no real football plays like back when you're kids and you're just running down the alley and running a rotation. It builds into free flowing in both pro sports, believe it or not. And I've learned with great coaches, and I've had a bunch. I've only had great coaches in the NLL. There's a lot of X's and O's that people don't know.
Right.
There's a lot of X's and O's that make Albany Firewolves be able to battle the Moneyball's able to battle New York Yankees, and believe me. So it's cool. It's cool to be a part of.
Right. So it kind of leads me into my next thing is, while you're doing all this at Colgate, you're with the Six Nation Arrows, and you're doing summer ball over there. Of course, 2 Minto championships. Let us talk about a couple of defensive awards for you as well that we kind of pushed to the side that you're always too modest to talk about. But 2 Minto Cup championships with them. And this is actually the class before the most noted ones, the ones with Nanakoke and Stotts and all these guys and Jameson, which just were coming up as you were leaving, because they won the 2017 Minto.
Crazy about this one. Think about the ones before. Think about the Randy Stats that we never got one to. Like, come on. Like Ryan Dilks. Yeah. People before. Coaching staffs before. Mentors before. So much more apart than people ever know. So that well, that was cool. 16-year-old, scared, and just kind souls, man, kind souls, people that took you in, were willing to work with you after practice, and I tell these stories to everybody.
See, that's what I wanted to know, because being an outsider getting into Six Nations, you hear about the camaraderie from inside the reserve, but yeah, this is what I'm looking at.
Always thankful, my friend. Always thankful, my friend.
And they always appreciate hard work. Hard work pays off.
They I trade for it, I scout it, keep it, and
Right.
it's expected. And it's expected. And if you're playing top dog, if you're playing for the Six Nations Arrows,
yeah, you're cock of the walk.
The people that played before you, man. The people that played before you. So it's it's really cool, and you just learn from the people ahead of you, man.
Right.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm a broken record there, but yeah.
You had the two Mintos. Is there a favorite of the two, or are they both just as special? I always figured the first one would be the one.
The one at home was sick, actually. Now that I think about it, when it, not my home. It was a part. Got to hang out at it. I'll go back forever. I'll watch games forever. I got to play there last weekend, and I'm so glad I play in this league so I can play there again because I don't play in the Chiefs anymore. So,
Right.
So that's a cool place to always play. But the second one for those boys winning at home in front of, and the first one was cool because we had the drums. The communities around all came and you hear the videos. It felt like a home game because the drums are going right. So that felt cool. That felt sick. So, but then winning it at home in front of the crowd and their families, and then like their families, family.
Sure. Right. Now, you make a big enough impression that the Chiefs hold on to your rights. You don't wind up going into the MSL draft, and they keep you. And sure enough, 2016, you're in on that juggernaut of that absolute star-studded team and win a Man Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just, I call it a horseshoe. I call it, you know what I mean? I call it
a souvenir from that, and there you go.
There it is. And you know what? I was noticing a lot of the cool souvenirs. You got the jersey in the back. So
that's the original. That's the original one. I got that from one of the guys from the 2002 team. So
yeah, it's like shinier. It's like shinier because Daryl Gibson had his, and we were checking out his. So yeah. So no, it was the Man Cup was obviously, that's an all-star team. They talk about it this year. Can they beat an NLL team? But yeah, it's an all-star team.
Yeah,
an all-star team. Just like Peterborough was when they went through their dynasty, right?
Yeah.
They're an all-star team. So it's great. It's unbelievable to watch hometown talent playing at home in front of their friends and family. So that's cool. That was unbelievable. But yeah, to do that at home too, right? Because the Chiefs one was at home too. So against Maple Ridge. So
that's amazing, and that's what they're looking at doing this year, right? That's why they kept this team together, because last year they had to do it out west. This year is just going to be crazy if they pull it off. If there's the only team I can see in the west that would be close to them would be Victoria, which is of the same ilk of the Western All-Star team. So it's basically NLL 1 versus NLL 2. But hey, that's the way it goes.
And that's the greatest part of it, right? And it's nice to see the West boys being in the West with the Kingers and Marshall playing and that whole thing and yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see the boys having fun in their hometown and in front of their family. It's sick. It's sick. So yeah, the Chiefs are going to do their thing. Knock on wood, for the boys, because I got obviously some buddies that would love to wear a couple more on the fingers. So cool to see that. Really cool to see what they've built, and obviously some hometown talent with Lyle and Balmer and Doug.
See, that's the thing also, is that everybody talks about, it's a bought team. Well, no, the guys doing it are the guys from home.
Jammer's been there from day one. What are we talking about?
Cody, all these guys are all homegrown boys. So those are the ones who are putting up the points. Those are the ones who are doing it all. Warren Hill, Doug Jameson. Well, Doug very well being on the Albany team, right? So
yeah, people got to delete Twitter. Too many opinions that are just
don't matter. Yeah,
they're just nonsense. But yeah, no. Hometown. They got hometown talent, man. Just Lyle lives there. Bomber is just like Jammer and Randy and all those boys. Audie and even their back end, right? They got guys, Nunko or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's there too. So.
And making a big imprint too. Everybody's doing their job. Nobody's doing extra stuff. Do your job, get it done. And again, when you have somebody like JT leading the ship, well, hey, so only natural that's where you're going to wind up at the top.
Yeah, and they're playing as a team. And give kudos to obviously us first in Albany. That's why we did so well, because the ball moved and it swung and it was a team game. But then also Buffalo, right? And they didn't play unselfish with the juggernauts that they had, right? So they played unselfish. They moved the ball, and if you see the Chiefs highlights with whoever's filming most of it, the ball swings side to side 3 times, and then it touches the back of the net. So ball's moving, sticks are hot. It's good.
Right. Okay, let's talk about a bit of going into the NLL. You're drafted in the 2nd round over to Georgia. And just at the right time for that too, for the juggernaut there. Now, Sean and Eddie have both been on the show. Sean's a decent, good friend of mine, so I love talking with him offside and just
I haven't seen Chai in a while. Congrats to Eddie.
Yeah, for the Canadian Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? Well deserved too.
Well deserved.
Sean, if I remember correctly, will probably be playing in the McDougall tournament this weekend. He got the winning goal last year in overtime.
Should we not? Should Chai not?
Just writing the story, isn't it?
What's Army Night?
What was it like when you walked in and there's Sean and Eddie and your first time with the NLL? What was expected? What was told to you that they expected from you?
Expectation was to, work your hardest and earn your role, right? We had 3 great rookies, 4 great rookies with Burnsy, and we were all battling for roster spots. So we were battling for roster spots coming in and then battling for playing time. Obviously, Joel White came in halfway through the year, and then I just sat for the rest of the year until playoffs. And Tutsi, God has a beautiful kid now and a wife and all that stuff. But he tore his Achilles in the playoffs, and that's what was able.
Yeah, no, I remember that well. But that was also, it's one thing to come onto a team that's an expansion team or a team that's rebuilding or a team that's middle of the road. This team was ready to win when you jumped on. So was training camp what you imagined it would be when you got to the NLL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like serious, you're going at it. You're getting ready for the season. You're earning spots. It's hard. It's tough. Yeah, it was everything. It was everything I expected it to be. And the knowledge and the speed, you expected it, but you couldn't be ready for it.
Right.
So the knowledge, junior, it was fast and all that, but the speed of the NLL and the much you had to process and go with the speed of it, I think everyone has takes time for them to adapt.
Right. Now, again, this team was ready to win. I was in Saskatchewan covering that series for that last game.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about, of course, the 10 or 12 seconds before overtime. Nice. And just the whole setup of that, because, man, I'd never seen anything like it. And all the stuff that led off, including a save that they thought they were out of the woods. And, back to, I think it's Jeremy Thompson who put it in. And it's like, oh, my God.
Oh no, I was grocery stick. I was middle of the bench. I had perfect view. Okay, I'll explain it all to you. Okay.
Sure.
So timeout happens. We're gonna press the ball. Okay, we're gonna dump the ball. We got our press team on. We got our guys on. They pull their goalie. I think it's the right move. I go over it with people and I stick with it. You you hold him in. You obviously have a chance of if we get it, there's a save. But if you have an extra guy, you can just dump it in the corner and battle, and it could be a battle. Like they're not, you know what I mean? There's an extra guy, muck it up, whatever. So, yeah, we left Corbeil wide open.
Yep.
Right in front of them. Like we screwed up. Like
Right.
if they make that bounce pass, it's over.
Yep.
So we left
99 times out of 100, he makes that catch and off it goes.
Weird spin, hits a you know what's underneath the turf, and there's like weird boards, right? So
Yep.
it's not always even. So it goes up, it spins off, and we left Corbeil open. You're leaving the farthest guy away open. You're not leaving the closest guy away open.
Right.
We leave the closest guy away open. Somehow they obviously make the simple pass. It bounces weird. We get the ball. Big Germ, Lyle's brother, Jeremy Thompson, runs in net. Lyle gets the ball. They're playing backyard ball. Jeremy makes the save, shoulder save, flies up in the air. Jeremy's looking for it. Whitey grabs it. Joe White scores. We go into overtime. And Randy scored the first goal of the game. So when Randy scored the first goal of the game that year, we won first goal of our goal.
Yep.
We won every game. It was nuts. It was like this weird thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we were mentally fine.
Yeah.
We
I was sitting on the restraining line over the goal. The overtime goal happened right in front of me.
Yeah. Give me your 2 cents.
Vintage play. Right. Thompson and Thompson, top corner. Boom.
Boom.
You could see it. You could see the blueprint being mapped out as it was all coming together, and it was amazing. And well, you had 15,000 people you could hear a pin drop.
And I say to people, they're like, well, man, playing in front of that loud of a crowd, that's unbelievable. I said, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Silencing that crowd is almost as unbelievable. Yep. Because when you can hear your team crying when we won, laughing, like celebrating when we scored the tying goal, it was crazy to hear us. Like from the end of the floor, because it was like all game, so unbelievable atmosphere. You'll always love playing in Sask. You'll always love playing in Buffalo and places that sell out. Toronto's doing it, and they deserve it. So
yeah, no, some of those are probably one of my favorite arenas to be in is SaskTel. That and Rochester back in the mid 2000s. During their three-peat, and my God, was that place loud, low ceilings, lots of people, and 3 days later, your ears are still. It's just wild, the energy that you can create. Mind you, I was in Albany this year for one of the games, and I was rather impressed with the crowd.
Yeah, you know what?
And you know what? They make a lot of noise.
I always say this. Our fans, and especially after the year we had previous to this one. Mm-hmm. Our fans have been so loyal to us, like the autograph stuff, the little things you do within the year with the fan base, and the town and the people within Albany, the hotel staff, the everything that we deal with, have been so supportive throughout the bad and the good. And I think that's where you realize where fan bases lie is when they're good in the both. So. Right. Super thankful. We grew. I want to say 200 to 300% this year in fan base, and sky's the limit with how well of an organization we have from top to bottom, and what great of people in the city we have of Albany. So,
right. I want to jump back a little bit. Sorry to be going back and forth, but you get moved to New York, and you're part of the rebuild. Well, their fourth rebuild or third rebuild or whatever back before now. That's in Ottawa, but. Working with Veltman and working with Laddie, that must have been awesome because I've known them for years, and of course, growing up with the Rock with them in my backyard. But I've known Jim Brampton and all the other ones too.
So I have one of my best friends, Jake Strosher, was his aunt Kim is Kyle Driscoll, Chris Driscoll's kid, his mom. So Jake's cousins are there. So we used to go watch Chris play when we were kids. And, can't say it, but we loved it. We loved it. We were there all the time, and we got to go underneath and see the fans. And they might have won like 3 and 5 years or something back then, and all that great stuff. So it was cool to watch. Bob Watson, denied by the whipper, all that cool stuff. We were all about it. And Jake still plays, and I still play. And I swear that is like the root cause of why we, because it grows friendships and it grows whatever. So to go back to your question before I forget, right? Laddie and Vance and Scoop. Yeah, an honor. Do you want to call it an honor? Do you want to call it, surreal? You call it whatever you want, but I love Laddie, man. And he was our O coach when we won in 2017. And just to see him kind of have his like first couple years of coaching and do what he did with that, and then the star-studded offense like crazy, Jesse King, like we can go down the list, but and then to have him as a head coach and the leader he is as a human being, like as a lacrosse as a lacrosse mind, as a lacrosse coach, the respect is through the roof. As a human being, the respect is what I mean. It's like he's somebody you look up to as a role model. Same as Jim. Jim, we used to play against him when I played for Melbourne, and he would be coaching Agent Court, right? And he ran that team, and they had donated helmets and sticks, and it was like a dirt field back then that we were playing on. Not that ours was any better, but just to see guys that like love the game and give back to the game. And then, obviously are coaching the next generation and seeing their kids, Laddie's daughter and Chris and
sure.
Obviously honored and was a great experience. And, hopefully I got many more years and I can get back with many of the coaches I loved, whether it be Eddie or Laddie and the coaching staff we have in Albany is all time.
Sure.
The coaching staff we have in Albany, what they were able to do with a young team, we lost some unbelievable leaders. And Waddy stepped up, and our leadership group stepped up, and to do that with a coaching staff, like unbelievable what this coaching staff and leadership group did this year with Albany.
Well, I love what Clarkey did a couple of years ago when you guys were hit with that injury bug where everybody went down.
Yeah,
from Ardell all the way down. Yeah. And it was more or less your audition, to see what he had, what he needed, where he was going. And, of course, these pieces worked, these pieces didn't work. And he continually put people in and out. By the end of the season, it was a pretty well-oiled machine. And you were a very tough team to play. It's probably the toughest 3-15 record that I had ever seen.
Yeah, we never gave up. We battled, and I think that's the MO of the coaching staff, right? I think that's the MO of the coaching staff and the leadership group, that you're suiting up, you're going out there and you're giving it your all, and that carried over next year. When there obviously were doubts surrounded about where we're going to be and what we're going to do, and we didn't even think about that and just went after it. You work hard, you punch your ticket, and you go do your thing, and you just worry about the process, not the results. So, and the coaching that gets done, is top notch.
Right.
And people don't see that, right? They don't see the behind the scenes of what goes on in the practices and the film sessions and the shoot arounds, that makes us successful in games. Like a lot of the E60s or whatever they're doing. It's amazing.
What I like about it is he's taken a number of guys who really didn't fit into the programs they were in. Marshall Palace comes to mind. He really just didn't fit with the Saskatchewan program, but boy, did he find a home, and boy, did he ever have a role on that team.
You talk about programs and systems, and yes, there are programs and systems, but if your consistent MO is we want work hard guys, anybody can fit in.
Right.
So
it seemed to gel over in Albany. It just, as the season went along, everything seemed to kind of work. Yeah, you had a little bit of a rough patch in the middle, but character build gets you out of those things. And it was a pretty darn good team coming down the stretch. Just ask Halifax in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, Mar plays the right way. Mar plays tough, and Mar just I think needed a place to play his game and build his confidence. And everybody needs that. And I think confidence is the main thing in any athlete. And God knows that Mar's ability is what he's able to do with his stick. And
it's amazing.
It's amazing. So
he was a former guest too, and we talked about that as well. And just such a modest kid. Nothing is showboat. Everything is just a different angle to shoot with. If I'm already past the goalie, of course I'm going behind the back. It may look like the highlight reel goal, but I'm just trying to put the thing in.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the mindset.
You know what? I think, it's their sport. You know what I mean? The great family.
Right.
Amazing family. Not to throw in my own sponsored stuff, but I'm able to work with JP and that family and with Spartan, and very thankful to be able to work with them. Not just playing lacrosse, but also outside lacrosse, growing the company. So,
right, we're going to get into that too. Don't worry. I did want to catch a bit on your field career too, because you played with Chesapeake in the MLL.
We're going to play with the Atlanta Blaze first.
Oh, the Atlanta Blaze.
Don't forget we had a fun team. I got to enter with the Atlanta Blaze first, and Randy Stats, Mark Matthews. That's when Lyle was still playing in the league, and we lost to them in the finals or semifinals or something like that. And I missed playing field. I missed it. So
right.
that was fun. And then obviously to play with the local boys that you play in the box season with, to again play full year round in the summer. So that was really cool to play. And then Chesapeake was the bubble year, and that was like a weird year. But again, I got to play with Lyle then. So that's a lot easier. You don't have to cover him. He doesn't make you look stupid, all that great stuff. So playing with Lyle and Bomber and Nick Jakowski and all those boys was cool
right.
in Navy Stadium, which is one of the coolest places to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Now, with the PLL, and since everything has gone the way of the PLL and the changes that have gone, I never really realized how spoiled we got until I was covering the Worlds last summer in San Diego, and we're back to regular field rules. And you don't have the 2-point arc, you don't have the 52-second shot clock, and I'm sitting there going, I'm missing something here.
Hey man, Canada's won many world championships, 9-8. Amazing. That's where the coaching comes into play.
Right.
So does it take coaching out of it? Does it, we could debate all day long, but we play within the rules, and the best team wins, and that is including the coach. So if you can shove the ball up your yoo-hoo, you shove your ball up your yoo-hoo for the fourth quarter for 15 minutes. So stall. You just have to keep it in the box.
Right.
You want to come watch Canada? We just changed the rules in Canadian University. We had 20 minute quarters with a stall rule. So you would just hold it in. You could win 20-0 and never touch the ball as the other team if you don't have a face-off guy. So there's both ends of the debate. PLL is run and gun. World is more X's and O's. Soccer hasn't changed.
Right. It's funny because with the new commissioner and assistant commissioner in Kufla, I've worked at a deal to have them work on my other program.
Nice.
And, so we're going to get a little bit more exposure.
Nice. Is Bolesky, right? It's Bolesky and Fox.
Bolesky and Scott Fox.
Fox, yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, just using those Rolodexes just to get things expanded is already putting it in the right direction. The changes into the Bag of the Week Cup weekend, that's another plus with a little bit more exposure and more for every regular person to actually view it. Yeah, I think we're really stepping in the right direction.
And you got top quality in those leagues. If we didn't have Senior A, and you watched Senior B, you'd be totally satisfied with watching Senior B. Like,
Absolutely.
and the job that the top to bottom with Hiltzy's done. Push over to Foxy and Bolesky, right? Talk about people giving back to the sport, people that have been within the sport. Hiltzy coached me in Team Ontario when I was a little guy, right? And then to go the other way and to go Bolesky. Bolesky jumped on the coaching staff. He added me to the coaching staff with Laurier, right? And he was there, and now he's taken over, right? Fox was there with the United Lacrosse League. That was the for the little kids, and he ran that as the commissioner. So these are guys that have been within the sport, guys that know the sport, and then know how to run something of this magnitude, which I think is exciting for the leagues. So we got great commissioners all over lacrosse now.
I agree.
Great people at the people that have been within the sport for years, and then so I'm excited to see where it goes and the future.
Now, we talked briefly about Spartan. You're one of the founders. Let's talk about the program. Let's talk about all the roles that you have there.
Secretary.
Pretty much
invoice guy. Yeah, I'm a scheduler. I'm a fire extinguisher. I'm a lot of things. I'm happy, man. I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to have an Indigenous team run by with Johnny Palace, as the head of Indigenous education and sport, and be telling me to be patient.
Right.
And I was like, I want to get you guys more stuff, and they're like, it'll come, man.
Yeah. It's about pacing. You don't want to burn yourself out by going crazy in 10 minutes, and it's a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Same with a lot of things. Yeah. One of your biggest fans, another NLLer, Curtis Conley, had him on, and that's where I learned the most about Everest, because of him being a former student. Now he's on staff, but you raved about you and your input into his career and his career in Everest.
You know what? Talk about a guy that's grit. Our word for Everest was grit this year. Yeah, man. Talk about a guy that works as Kufla Player of the Year, or just a work hard guy, and it's top to bottom. I think he just lives his life that way, and that's just his MO. And whether he even thinks about the word grit or not, that's how I would describe him. And the kids are lucky to have him as a mentor at Everest. And Clem's great that way, right? Clem at Everest is unbelievable, like Albany, right? With Clarkie, right? Just picking people, and obviously Brian Cole brought me there with Shane Jackson, and they were there first, and they brought me in there, and it's cool to grow the network and see the people, and obviously Conley is one of those, Ottawa guy, I want to say, or Beaches, right? And then with the Beaches, and then obviously, we got traded for each other. I brought that up
in his interview. It's like you just couldn't meet up with each other. You guys passed each other on the road.
I know. But he's coaching. He's coaching the junior A team in Peterborough. I got Jake's other cousin, Driscoll's other cousin is there, Michael Blameyer. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see Connolly coaching that defense with Hopi and Turner, right? Yeah. So talk about, again, our generation giving back. And it's like Connolly with Mike Byrne and Aaron Forster, right? Box lacrosse breakdown. Yeah. Like, come on. Like, and we're learning from you guys and your generation and what you're doing for this game. And we're trying to keep pace or not fall too far behind.
Right. And the funny thing is, it's kind of like the Hill and guys going back after they've graduated and, helping out there. Everest is exactly the same. Former students coming back and helping out this program, which is fantastic in the first place, which is love watching it. Love watching these guys come out of there, which is just, they're ready to be in the next level. That's what I say
That's our goal, man. That's right. Our goal is, is to get these kids. And that's what, Brody and the Merrill family did for me. Right. So, Pat and Peter and yeah.
All right. It's funny because when we were talking about OSL, the one kid that stood out to me this year is someone that Clarkie drafted, was a goalie, Andrew Kidd.
I love Kidder.
Oh, are you kidding? He's spectacular. He made 71 saves in the game that I was at. And, I think they lost 6-3. They didn't have any scoring. But boy, what a something to look forward to in the future. And, once Jameson hangs it up, wow, you're already here.
Talk about a guy who's obviously, and that's a guy who's like in the net. You'll come into the game like 2 hours before the game.
Yeah.
And Curtsy would live. Curtsy would sleep on our floor if he could. So he'd be out there getting shots from Curtsy because Curtsy wants that.
Right.
That type of kid. And I forgot he was a long pull at Brock University, right? Just a dog. So I love Kidder. He coaches too in Toronto.
Right. And then that's not even thinking of Dyson Williams coming in, the number 1 overall pick, the long awaited that we've all watched through everything else other than NLL. And then boom.
The generations, like in all sports, watching kids go behind the back. Onondaga versus, Akwesasne or whatever. Kids are going BTB. They're U9. I'm like, oh, God. I can't go BTB. So, no, the next generation will always be better. That's why you can't go MJ versus LeBron because you'll never know because it's generational. So the game changes. So, but I'm excited to see what comes next and a generational talent, and we got a lot of those. I feel like every year we got a new one. We got a couple. So, we were lucky to have.
I know it's exciting. It's going to be exciting for the fans in Albany too, because this is going to be a team. The team is just finding its way, and it's already here. It's exciting to watch. The next couple of years are going to be fantastic in there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, you got the foundation and the leadership and then you're able to, and they're great at putting pieces together like we talked about.
Well, like I say, if you got me excited for a 5.5 hour drive there to watch it in person, something's up there, and I love it. I love doing it. So a couple of little questions. We only got a few minutes left. Amazing how quickly this is going. About the NLL for the future. Do you think full time is in the future?
Oh, I don't, and that's all in the ownership group and what they're able to endure, right? And I don't know the margins. I don't think only the top knows the margins.
Right.
So whatever the margins are, if it's able to work, it's able to work. And if we can be in market, if we're not able to be in market and still be full time, perfect, right? Because then you're able to not make guys decide. So
right.
I'll let the tops and guys like Patty Kaschuk and the PA and guys like that as reps. So I think the voice is being heard of the players through the reps, and we'll go from there, and then the top can have the talks and figure out what we can do. I'm game for it. I think everybody's game for it. We just got to see if it fits the.
Well, the beautiful thing is, I think you've never had a better relationship between ownership and the PA than you have now. Big kudos to Reed Reinhold and all the things that he's done as a rep, and then now as the vice president and CEO, whatever, of the Players Association. That there is that open talk for as long as I can remember. This is the first time where there's not a strike looming. There's always open conversation. Things are moving. So this is when things are being able to build, when there's always that open dialogue.
It was the TSN turning point.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Now, thoughts on sixes, since we're going to be going into the Olympics, and this is where we're heading with it.
Okay. Okay. Great for the world, yes. Great for the top 3, 5, 10, no.
Right.
But great for the world. You want to make it the Olympics? You need 80, whatever countries, 50, whatever the word, the numbers. That's how you hit it. That's how you hit it. That is how you hit it. So that they hit it. Whatever makes you hit it, hit it.
Right.
We need it. The
I
world
always
needs
say
it.
once we get them watching, then we can teach them tradition. But we got to get the eyes watching.
Oh, hey, you're gonna regret that because Japan, I'm watching, whatever guy just messaged here from like Africa or whatever, right? Whatever, right? We're gonna be happy about it, and then we might be unhappy about it. But it's cool to see Japan win bronze in the girls and the men's. So yeah,
They blew me away last year in the Worlds. The homegrown team, and they were fast and they could score. And it's only wait till box. Wait till box when they put that in. Once they figure that out.
You heard it here first. I think I'm playing for Team China. So
well, I go to the Rabeski tournament every year, and that blows my mind with some of the European lacrosse.
Yeah, fast and fun to watch, my man. Yeah, it is. It is, and I think that's why they're doing it. The scores might be crazy, 60 to 30, but it's fun and fast paced, and there's no dead time, which is why people don't watch soccer or tennis or golf. I still watch all three, but yeah.
All right, the future for Leo Stouros.
Oh my gosh, I got an engagement party this weekend. Girlfriend's friends are getting engaged. I got a big playoff series coming up with the Arrows. I'm excited for the summer. I'm excited for the summer of taking care of my body and myself and seeing friends and family. So that's what's day by day. So.
It helps that you have an exciting team there too. I've watched a few of their games over at the ILA, and they're just great.
I'm back on a team like Six Nations Arrows. And can't always be on a team like that.
It's always great watching the people, the people around in there, and just everything that is about going to Six Nations, and you get that in junior, even more so than watching MSL.
Come watch a game in Tonawanda. Come watch a game in Tuscarora. Come watch a game in Onondaga, Allegheny, all the other places, and watch the community come out and watch games from U7 to Senior B. With Chase Frazier, with Jay Thornburg, with Kluche, and then watching the U9s, and that's who's playing on our team with those boys, and they're coaching their U7s and their U9s because they got kids in U7 and U9.
Right.
And Tuscarora is there from the whole day and watches their senior team play. That's a cool day.
I had a lot of fun watching the Kahnawake Green Gales.
Yes.
Junior B series, and that was a lot of fun in person too. And man, can they ever turn it on when they have to?
Playing in some of those arenas are so cool. The Turtle Dome is unbelievable. The Turtle Dome is one of the coolest places to play. Tonawanda was my first time ever. So, I'm happy lacrosse is everywhere. Can't wait to go play in the Czech tournament. I want to do that one before I can't. So.
Oh yeah. I rave about that thing. For weeks when I come back. I love it. That tournament is just amazing. And to play in that outdoor box and all the history in there and all the other things that are going on, let alone, walking around and seeing 500, 800-year-old buildings just to boot to go along with everything else. But Raritan in itself, and watching, again, you talk about the home squad and watching the hometown fans come out to watch Raritan play is just incredible. Hey, look, Marshall's here. How you doing, Marshall? Thank you for watching.
Hey, Pat. So
anyway, I just want to thank you for taking the time with us, man. I've really enjoyed talking about all these things in all these different places.
And great talking with you guys. Thank you for having me on. Obviously, cool to be a part of the great people you had on, like everyone we talked about, right? But nice to see the fan base you have, and thank you again, guys, for having me and bringing me on.
And anything we can do to help you out or to promote what you need, please feel free to reach out, and more than happy to help you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Leo, for doing this. Really appreciate it. Sorry I wasn't up to the weather at not feeling well. But anyway, I think I survived till now anyway. Thanks for doing this, buddy. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
So for Leo Stouros and, of course, Gary Groob. I'm Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching NLL Lacrosse Talk, seen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Lacrosse Talk, news, entertainment, and other sports programming we offer, please check out SpanglishWorld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. See you next Thursday at 4 p.m. Have a great one, everybody.